So in part 2, we're going to use the ideas of those families of graphs in order to start actually graphing some of these graphs, remembering that we don't want to use an XY chart. We want to use the idea of families of graphs to do this. Okay, so if we take a look at the first graph, you'll notice that the base of 2 is the same as the base of that parent graph we had on the previous page. And then you'll notice that this x minus 1, that's all in the parentheses. That's all in my exponent. And so notice that if I set x minus 1 equal to 0, because it's horizontal, we have work to do, that makes x equal to 1. And so what that tells me is it's a horizontal translation. So we're going to translate. And then because I got positive 1, we're going to translate to the right 1 unit. Okay, so everything that I had in my parent graph, I'm going to translate it all to the right 1 unit. So at 0, I was at 1. I'm going to move that to the right 1 unit. 2 to the first was 2. I'm going to move that to the right 1 unit. 2 to the second was 4. I'm going to move that to the right 1 unit. 2 to the third was 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to move that to the right 1 unit. And then 2 to the negative 1 was a half. And so that means that I've got my horizontal asymptote along that negative x-axis. And I have this graph, which is my parent graph, translated to the right 1 unit. So now, if I take a look at this next graph, now we're talking about the parent graph being the graph of y is equal to 4 to the x power. So let's take a look at what that would look like. So any number to the 0 power is 1, so that's going to be half of a step up because each step is up 2. And then 4 to the first power, noticing my scale on my x-axis as well as my y-axis. So 4 to the first power is 4, and 4 to the second power is 16, and 4 to the third power is 64, which is not on there. And so again, we would have, remember, it's always increasing to the right when my b value is greater than 1. So this is my parent graph. And so then looking at the fact that I have negative x and then plus 2 in the parentheses, tell me what that would do to the graph in words. So pause the video and try that. So the negative on the inside of the parentheses is telling me that I have a reflection. And so because it's inside the parentheses, it's a horizontal reflection. So that means that we're reflecting with respect to the y-axis. So now instead of increasing to the right, we're going to decrease to the right. And then this plus 2 is still inside the parentheses. So if I take negative x plus 2 and set it equal to 0, I can add x to both sides and I get x is equal to 2. So if my horizontal translation is positive 2, that means that we're going to translate to the right 2 units. Okay, so I'm going to deal with these one at a time, and I'm going to try to give it a color that doesn't make this crazy. So if I reflect this with respect to the y-axis, if I have, let's see, 2 steps to the right of the y-axis gives me the 16, then, and actually it's, let's look at the grid. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 would put me right here if I reflected it across the y-axis. And then 2 grids to the right is 2 grids to the left here. And I'm not saying 2 units because it's really 1 unit. And then on the y-axis would stay the same. And then at negative 1, we would still be at negative 1/4. And so let me just do that in this blue color here. So this is everything here. And so then I need to then translate everything to the right 2 units. And remember, it's the units on the x-axis, not the units as in the grid. So each unit is 2 grids. So here is 1, 2 units, and here's 1, 2 units. This one goes 1, 2 units, and this one here goes 1, 2 units. And so my new final graph would look something like this. And remember, when you miss, you just make the point a little bigger, right? And so you'll notice that we went from increasing to decreasing because we reflected across the y-axis. And so not only did we reflect it, but we reflected it and then translated it to the right 2 units, being very aware of how they marked the units in our graph. All right, so if we take a look at the next one. So what I want you to do first is just graph, I guess it doesn't really give us much of an option, but if we can think about what would the graph of 3 to the x power look like. So that would be my parent graph. Okay, and I know they don't give us room for that here, but we're going to try our best. So any number to the 0 power is 0. 3 to the first power would be 3. 3 to the -1 power would be 1/3. And so we're looking at a parent graph, something like this. Okay. So take a moment to describe in words what is the negative on the outside doing and what is the +1 on the outside doing to the graph. So the negative in the front is telling me to reflect. And because it's outside of the parentheses, it's not part of the exponent, that's going to be a vertical reflection. So look at my thumb, from my thumb to reflect vertically, that's going to be with respect to the x-axis. And then the +1 is outside of the exponent or outside of the parentheses. And so that's going to be translated up 1 unit. Okay. And then when we're done, we're just going to have to pay attention to the fact that this no longer says equals, now it says greater than. So I'll come back to that in just a moment. So if I reflect it with respect to the x-axis, that means that what was up 3 is now down 3. To the second power would have been up 9, but now it's down 9. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What was up 1 is down 1, and what was up 1/3 is down 1/3. And so, oops, let's do that in a different color. So we get something like this with just this reflection taken care of. And so then if I translate that up 1 unit, every number in my graph goes up 1. And so this goes up to 2/3 here, and this goes up to 0. And so notice my new horizontal asymptote is going to be this line right here because I shifted up 1 unit. And so we're going to have a line that gets close to the line of y is equal to 1, but doesn't actually touch that line. Oops. So then another thing to notice, you know, my motto, everybody makes mistakes, right? When this says greater than, then that means that my graph should be dashed. So where I see this solid right here, that should be dashed. If I had a pencil, then I could erase some portions of it. I did do it dashed right here. And so then greater than says above the y-axis, so that means I could shade like this. If you don't believe me, I can't test 0, 0 because that is a point on the graph, but I can test something like 1, 0. So if I test 1, 0, if it makes this true, then that is part of the graph. So I'm asking, is 0 greater than -3 to the first plus 1? So 0 is greater than -2, and so we would shade where the point 0, 1 is, and that's what we thought we would do. So take a look at the graph of number 4 and see what you could do to that 0.5 to make it the graph of something we're more familiar with. So hopefully you recognize 0.5 is fancy for 1/2. So we've actually already graphed this function. So it was the parent graph reflected with respect to the y-axis. So if I go back to that's not it. If I go back to my original graph here, we graphed y is equal to 1/2 to the x power. So we said 1/2 to the 0 power is 1, to the first power is 1/2, and so on and so forth. 1/2 to the -1 was 2, to the -2 was 4, and to the -3 was 5, 6, 7, 8. And then because this says or equal to, that means it is going to be solid. And I am going to have an asymptote along that positive x-axis. And I apologize for that little bump. That should be nice and smooth. I just hit something on my table here. And then again, to take care of this greater than, that means shade above your y-intercept. And so if we want to check, 0, 0 is not a point on the graph, so I can check it. So when y is equal to 0 and x is equal to 0, is 0 greater than or equal to 1? Because any number to the 0 power is 1, and that would be false. And so notice we did not shade where 0, 0 was located, we shaded on the opposite side. And again, this one was true, and so we should be shading where the dot is, and we did.